I'm so excited. First of all, hello, Sheryl. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so great. You're our first ever guest inside Hybrid Hub, so we're just flying by the seat of our pants here. But as we let the stragglers in here, I just want to introduce you. Cheryl Ann Photography is famous, iconic, beautiful, gorgeous. Cheryl's based in California, but she travels all over the world delivering the absolute most beautiful client experience. Her work is absolutely stunning. And I'm lucky to be able to fit you in because you're about to be traveling for the next like 11 weeks all
Yep.
over the world, Italy, right?
Yes.
Amazing. So on your own time, please go stalk Cheryl and see that she is an incredible elopement photographer. But what I'm so excited to be talking about with you today is TikTok. This is a community that has it absolutely been hammering home the importance of video content marketing. So they're primed to be bullied, but I would love to hear from a real successful elopement photographer like you about what TikTok has done for your business. So can we just start there? Will you tell us a bit about yourself and your TikTok journey?
Yeah, of course. Well, I'll start from the beginning. Hi, everyone. My name is Cheryl. I am so excited to be here, especially as your guys' first guest in the Hybrid Hub. I'm so honored. I am a destination adventure elopement photographer based in California. I started my business back in 2022 while I was still in the Navy. But now I'm doing this full time, and I've photographed adventure elopements in places like Switzerland, Italy, and Thailand. And I'll be going to Norway and Italy again this year. So I'm super grateful and stoked. But I am here to talk to you guys today about TikTok because I recently created a course called Book Not Viral. And essentially, the course is teaching elopement photographers how to build a calm and sustainable business. Content system on TikTok without burning out and actually having a system that converts and one that you won't get burnt out from because I just haven't seen a course like that yet dedicated strictly to us photographers.
Yeah. And the way you lay everything out is so easy and you practice what you preach. I have been going through your TikTok and seeing how you serve the hell out of people in like really specific but small ways in these video series. And I can see how they convert for people who are looking for what it is you do, where you want to do it. So talk to me about your TikTok journey. When did you start TikTok and when did you decide to take it seriously?
Yeah, I started TikTok while I was still in the Navy. So I would say that was maybe back in 2021. I would have to
Mhm.
check. But essentially, my friend we were talking about it, and I was like, I don't really think I want to start a TikTok. Being in the Navy and being just in the military in general, there's this weird stigma around TikTok because they're worried that having the app on our phone, they'll steal information from the Navy. So I was like, I'm not going to touch that. And he looked at me like I was literally a crazy business owner. And he's like, Cheryl, why would you close another door to opportunities that could bring in inquiries? And I was like, wait, like, yeah, I'm being crazy. So I downloaded the app and I honestly didn't take it seriously at first. I was like a lot of you in the beginning of just like dancing on TikTok, doing those like weird voiceovers and just having fun with it. But it didn't bring in any inquiries at all. And the followers that it did bring, it was like other photographers or people that just found me entertaining. So there came a point where I did start to take it seriously, especially when I started receiving Redwoods inquiries. And I just started, the environment on TikTok is so different from Instagram. It's more like a FaceTime, you're talking with a friend. So when I started taking that approach and sharing information, helpful information on TikTok, that's when I started seeing real results.
Yeah. I'm especially attracted to your series right now that are very specific to location. And what I would love for you to speak to, because I crazy lady hammer this home like you wouldn't believe in the marketing section of Hybrid Hub, is searchable, valuable content that will help you rank on Google. And I know that's something that you touch on as well. Can you speak to how you think about searchability when you're creating content on TikTok? And I know that sounds really scary, but Sheryl does it in a way that's so easy. And I'd love to hear your process on that.
Yeah, honestly, you guys need to take advantage of TikTok right now. TikTok is now becoming the next search engine when you're using it properly. So, um, when other couples are searching on TikTok, they're looking for very specific locations. They're looking for answers to their questions that they might have about eloping in that location. And what's awesome now is that Google is actually favoring short form video, whether that be on TikTok or on shorts on YouTube. So it is really important to start being very location focused when you are doing these short form videos, whether that be on TikTok or YouTube shorts. So when you are posting on TikTok, it is very, very important to focus in and hone in on one location, answer a question that is frequently asked of your couples, and it is really that simple.
Here's what I want to get like very, very specific here because they get so annoyed at me when I talk about making your caption super searchable. And I feel like you might have a different point of view on this, which might make them love you. How are you making sure that you come up in search? Like, how long are your captions? Like, how are you showing up for what people are searching for?
Oh, I make it very easy. I actually just go on Chat GPT and I just say, "Hey Chatty, please make me an SEO optimized caption based off of this topic that I am talking about in my TikTok, and make sure that the keyword is for, I'm just going to use an example, redwoods elopement." And then she will spit something out, and then I'll post it, and then I'll use 5 hashtags for that specific location, and that's it.
Okay, we're actually pretty similar then. I'm
Yeah.
busting out these SEO
Yeah.
optimized captions. Talk to me about what leads someone into an inquiry. Are they DMing you on TikTok, or how do you get them to fill out your inquiry form?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I would get DMs because on TikTok, they have a weird rule that you cannot put a link in your bio until you have over 1,000 followers. So I would get a lot of DMs in the beginning, but now that I have a link in my bio, typically from what I understand and what I've talked to other brides about that have booked me and found me through TikTok, is that they would see one TikTok from me for that specific location, and then they would keep scrolling, and then they would find another TikTok from me. So what's really cool is that TikTok, depending on how long a person spends on your video, they like it, they save it, TikTok will continue to show your videos to that person. So it came to a point where a bride was like, "Oh my gosh, Sheryl, you were showing up everywhere." And I just took it as a sign. Even if they don't watch one video, when they watch one video of mine, they can go to my profile and see that I'm providing a wealth of knowledge on that specific location. And then from there, they're like, "Oh, she's the real thing. She is focusing on this location for elopements." I'll DM her. I will go into her bio and fill out her contact form. And that's how I get a lot of my inquiries from TikTok.
Yeah, okay, I love this. Now, before we open up the floor to everybody, I have like a couple things that I think will come up again and again and again with this group. But I want to start with something very practical. Whereas if we are not cool on TikTok yet and we don't have 1,000 followers and we can't put a link in bio, what do you tell photographers in that situation for leading people to the website?
Yeah. So I would just say at the end of your TikTok, you always have to put a call to action no matter what. A big one that I'm noticing is super helpful is at your subtitle, you can put comment Italy. And that's just an easy way to get your foot in the door. And for them, they're not going to their profile and they're not typing, they're not writing you a long DM. And that's just an easy way to kind of start a conversation just with one word. So
I love
that's one
this.
way. Yeah.
So when people comment Italy, are you commenting back to DM you or to fill out the inquiry form on your website?
So when they comment Italy, for example, I go and DM them and then I send them like all the information that they were requesting based off of that TikTok because I have a couple that are geared to specific locations.
Okay, I love this so much. Now, this is a group of people who are really primed to like understand the power of video, and they're primed to understand the value of searchable captions. And then it gets to specific platforms, and something in us deflates a little bit, me included, where it's like, ugh, I don't know where to start. I feel too old for TikTok. I feel like this is a slog. And I'm sure you hear this from photographers a lot, where they're like, I just don't know how to get in a consistent groove with making video content. What do you say to those people?
It's actually super easy to get started, especially with TikTok. Again, I want to emphasize that TikTok is so laid back, you guys. It's not like Instagram where it's very aesthetics driven and it's almost more judgy on Instagram for some reason. On TikTok, you can literally just start talking to the camera and share one valuable piece of knowledge that you know in one specific location, and you are good to go. Like people just want to learn from you. They aren't taking it very seriously. So don't take yourself too seriously on TikTok. And again, I think a lot of us get nervous because we're taught, like, oh, you have to be on TikTok every day, post 3 times a day, or else it's not going to work. You guys, I post like maybe once or twice a week whenever I feel inspired or motivated. In fact, I didn't post at all last week, and I'm still doing okay. So I don't want you
Yeah.
guys to feel like this is something that you have to do every day. And I emphasize that in my course, and I provide you guys a system that is feels sustainable and approachable, and you guys, it's very structured, and truly you don't have to feel obligated to post more than you have to.
Yes. And I love the way you emphasize calm and you emphasize systems. And before we open the floor, like I cannot overemphasize how important being searchable is, because the goal here isn't virality, right? Like it's literally to show up for the people who want to buy what you're selling, and to show them that you're the expert who will lead them toward their desired result, right? Which would be an amazing elopement in the Redwoods or an amazing elopement in Italy, or anywhere in the world that you're targeting with these TikTok series. And if you can do that, even if you post once this week and it's super searchable, that could end up showing up on Google for people who
Yeah.
are looking for you. Yes,
Can I touch on that real quick, Shayna?
please, please.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go to my TikTok, you'll see that there's like a couple that of TikToks that have gone viral in certain areas. But if you go to Google and search that specific location, like Pottstown elopement or Redwoods elopement, it's not my TikToks that have gone viral that are showing up. It's the ones that are answering questions that are doing well in the short form video section for searchability. So just keep that in mind. You guys do not need to go viral to show up for your couples.
I'm loving this so much. You're just validating me left and right. Well, Cheryl, I hope this is a great start for everybody so that they can go stalk you on TikTok and just see how easy you're making the system. Like you're literally doing mini blog posts, green screening your face over a landscape that you've taken in these locations, and you're able to use this format again and again and again. I especially love when you do pricing breakdowns, and she's literally just putting her services as the top thing, and then like ideas for things that her couple could book that would also be super aesthetic for her photos and videos. Like I love the one where you're like, here's what it would be to rent a terrace in Italy, and then you can rent a private boat and a cool vintage car to showcase on the Amalfi Coast. So it's also selling your future couples on the overall experience that would look amazing for your portfolio, which I think is genius.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at my TikToks, a lot of them provide other couples inspiration. So that's one important thing. And the second thing, if you also look at the videos and look at the pattern, I'm literally using the same exact pictures and videos over and over again. You don't have to reinvent the wheel or be like, oh, I don't have any more content or pictures to use. Like, seriously, just use the same ones as your background. As long as you're providing valuable content, the couples actually do not care.
I love this. Um, you're crushing it. And I'm going to ask one last question, but I want to get all of you ready to ask your hyper specific questions. And you'll know from group coaching that I always say, like, the more specific, the better. Don't feel like it's too,
Okay.
okay, I live in the woods. Hello, we're going to start that sentence over. I'm going to ask one last question for Cheryl, but while I'm asking it, I want you all to think about your questions and make them hyper specific to your situation. Because when we're talking about ourselves and our specific situations, everybody can get value from those questions and answers. So do not be scared about it being super specific. And so think about your questions as we're wrapping up here. But Cheryl, for your journey, when you were getting into TikTok, I know there was that period where you weren't getting inquiries. What was the shift that allowed this to start being something that was a lead generator in your business?
When I started pretending that my TikToks were a FaceTime and I was talking directly to the camera, and just answering questions, I feel like that is when I started getting real inquiries. I just feel like they just started taking me more seriously than using the TikToks that you would see of like a BTS role of an elopement. Um, sure, that provides more inspiration, but the couple's like, cool, I'm inspired, but where are you answering my questions?
Yeah, I love that so much. Okay, thank you so much. This is very exciting. I think we've laid some groundwork for everyone to be able to ask their specific questions. You can lead with your pain points, like what's keeping you from being consistent on TikTok. I want to hear everything. And I would love to start with you, Corey, if you're down to ask your question. And then if anyone else has anything specific and they don't want to be called on, just put a Q in the chat so I know to call on you.
Sorry, we're so excited.
I
Corey,
know.
know your
I
face.
just
So
want to give you a big
I
hug.
know, me too.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi,
Hey,
Corey.
Shay. So good to see you.
It's so great to see you too.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for coming on today and thanks for having her, Shay. This is amazing. I so admire your TikTok and your presence and how creative you've been. And, we're friends. We've been following each other for a while. We were in Megan McPhail's mastermind program together. And that's how the two of us met. But my specific question for you, I have a couple. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Of
that's
course,
fine.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. So you know that I have been attempting to do my green screens, my backgrounds, and, make informative TikToks as well, like educational for specifically for Grand Teton, because I'm really trying to get couples to book me for that this summer, specifically for July when I'm going to be there. I want to know how you do your videos looking at the camera and it doesn't look like you're reading. Like I have a script and I'm like, okay, I can just remember one sentence and I hit pause and then so I'm piecing things together. I don't know how you do it where it looks natural or do you chop up your videos as well?
Okay, that is a very good question. Corey, first off, your TikToks look amazing. You look great. I love your backgrounds. You are killing it. And I love that you're taking the FaceTime approach and putting your work in the background because it looks amazing. To answer your question, I actually use a teleprompter on CapCut that utilize. So it makes it look like I am talking to the camera, but really I am just reading a script.
Oh my God.
This prevents a lot of the the nervous breakdown where you're like, wait, what was that one sentence?
Yeah.
Because even if though it's a sentence, what's happening is you're talking to the camera, but your mind is overthinking it. So you're just like, that take wasn't that good. And then you go back and do it. Whereas when you're reading something off a screen, you're just like, oh, that was good. And then you're done.
Yeah.
So yeah, I utilize a teleprompter on my screen through CapCut.
So
Okay.
you're
That's
able to
super
do
helpful.
that while green screening with the photo behind you?
Yep, and I teach that all in my course, how to do that.
Okay.
And it's really fun. It's super easy.
Okay.
And I just
That
copy and paste my entire script. So
Yeah, that's awesome because I usually have a Google Doc open and it's slightly off from my camera and I'm like, I don't want to look down at my screen and then up or to the left or to the right. I want that eye contact that you have. Yeah.
yeah, and you have to be very particular about that on TikTok, especially because if you do any type of pause or ums,
Mhm.
they're just going to scroll past because they want that information so quickly. So if you notice on
Yes.
my TikToks, I'm talking very quickly. I am just spitting out the information. I'm not wasting their time.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So another question I have for you is I know you booked the dock in the Dolomites. You got one booking so far. Did you book the other one?
No, I didn't.
It'll happen.
I know, I really hope so. I mean, I keep pushing out that same exact TikTok, so we'll see if someone snags it, but I think it is too late. I don't know. Like,
Okay.
yeah, but we'll see. Some people book their elopement 2 months from their elopement day, so maybe I might get lucky.
Yeah.
But we shall see. But what's interesting is that TikTok is getting more inquiries for 2027, so I'm not mad about that
Yes.
either. Like, I just booked a TikTok couple for July of 2027 in the Dolomites, and
Oh, good.
they want to do a multi-day elopement, and we're doing a helicopter and Lago de Bray. So
Fun.
yeah, I'm finding pretty cool couples on TikTok.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
One other question regarding making those videos like green screen. I'm just using the TikTok app. I haven't had luck with CapCut. And it seems to work well. Does TikTok prefer captions or no captions? I noticed that yours are sans captions.
Yeah, I TikTok prefers captions. The more that words that you guys can put on the screen that the TikTok algorithm can read, the better because it's understanding what you're putting out in the video. So I always recommend using a subtitle and using captions.
Okay, cool. And with that caption, you don't really need a hook because you're speaking to your audience directly and the captions are just showing up,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, that's cool. That's
And
all
when
I
you
have.
hold on real quick, Corey, when you say
Yeah.
hook, do you mean the subtitle or do you mean a hook within your video?
So, like when you're posting a reel on Instagram, you want to put a hook first, like written out hook
Mhm.
at the top. And then, say if it's a BTS of you, photographing a couple, and then it shows them, moving through the landscape. Typically it's like, imagine eloping here and ditching the big wedding. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean by the hook.
So yes, so I always have a hook title, subtitle
Okay.
up on, yeah. Because again, that's another way for TikTok to read what your TikTok is about. And it's also very good for the bride or groom, whoever is scrolling and seeing your video to stop and be like, is this video applicable to me?
Mm,
Because a big mistake that I'm seeing photographers doing is just posting a video of themselves talking to the screen.
mm.
And you guys have to remember that some of these people are laying in bed and they're on mute and they're just like watching a video unfold. So if they can't read on the screen what it's about, they're probably just going to scroll past. So always put as much information as possible.
That's super helpful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Appreciate it. I have
That
many
is
more, but I want to let everybody else go because I took up plenty of time. Thanks.
It was nice talking to
never
you, Corey.
Yeah, good to see you.
to
Thank you.
all of you, never ever ever worry about taking up time because everyone here wants to learn. Like we're all here for a reason. So Corey, we'll come back to you if your questions don't get answered
Mhm.
when everyone else asks. We have one coming up. So Sophia, you are next. Please unmute. Tell us what you are wanting to learn from Cheryl.
Okay, so excuse my voice. It's going to be a little congested, but
Right.
this is a bit hyper specific to me because I am wanting to break into adventure elopements a little bit more. But because I've only shot one adventure elopement, it was in Olympic National Park. So, with my lack of experience in that, how would you recommend that I get started with these informational type videos?
Well, the fact that you've already photographed one, you have the content, and two, you have the information from planning that adventure elopement day because I'm sure you built them a timeline. I'm sure that you were able to assess where the sun was and when you could avoid the crowds. And look, all that was like that could have been 3 TikTok reels right there. So it's easy to
Okay.
just look back on your elopement day, utilize the photos that you've taken from that adventure elopement as your background, and then just think back like about the most important information that you can share from that day, whether that be a timeline breakdown or the best times to avoid the crowd, whether that be sunrise or sunset. Um, and then other information like, oh, this was the best dress that would recommend for this environment because we did a lot of hiking. So I don't want you to think like, oh, I've only done one adventure elopement, because it really doesn't matter. I want to use myself as an example because I've, for example, only photographed in Positano once. So I'm able to use that information over and over again. And I've built 10, let's see, 10 TikToks in the past 2 months. And I've already booked one inquiry for 2027 at like my highest package. So I don't want you to think that, oh, I only have one experience, because it really doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
cool. So just,
Sophia,
oh,
you
yeah,
just,
sorry.
oh no,
Go ahead.
please go ahead.
No, I was just going to say just pulling as many as I can from that one experience out.
Absolutely. And I just want to, the only thing I want to add is you were just in Costa Rica. I'm sure you took some beautiful landscapes. A lot of
Yeah.
Cheryl's TikToks, like it's her face over the same landscape in Positano.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
what happens is it when a couple goes onto your TikTok, it looks very it just looks clean about the redwoods. So just keeping it consistent, it works
Mhm.
out.
Okay, great. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome.
Awesome. As we wait for other people to put Q in the chat, Cheryl, here's what's on my mind. And this comes up for me because you already are going to be in Italy for specific dates. So are you trying to push those specific dates when you do these TikTok series, or how do you handle like trying to convince your inquiries to book during the times you'll already be at these places?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I've received a lot of inquiries already for Positano for 2026. And I tell them, hey, I'm only going to be there this year, and I don't have any other time in my schedule to fit you in for the date that you're looking for. And unfortunately, a lot of them have already booked flights and they can't budge. So that's something to keep in mind. But I've had one that was willing to move to 2027, and that's the one who booked. So
Okay, I love this. So if that one books from now on, are you just trying to push clients like toward those couple of weeks, like around that elopement?
yes.
Okay, that's exciting. Okay, I love this. Jen, go ahead and unmute. I would love to hear what you have to ask Cheryl.
Yeah. Hey, Cheryl.
Hi, Jen.
I had a couple questions, and you've kind of alluded to the answers, but I figured I would just
Ask.
specify. Yeah. I feel like whenever I'm scrolling TikTok and I see people talking about like, oh, here's how I got followers, here's how I blah, that's like enough, as far as like interacting with other accounts or things like that.
No, that's actually super important because the algorithm is very, very particular. So, for example, with the redwoods, I would push out a lot of redwoods TikToks and a lot of helpful information, and TikTok really liked that. But as soon as I posted something else about Mount Rainier, Italy, it would put me in TikTok jail, and I would have barely any views. Um, but if you go to my TikTok now, you'll notice that there's like this weird distinction where you see redwoods and then you see Positano. And I was kind of telling TikTok slowly, hey, I'm moving toward Positano because I'm tired of getting redwoods inquiries. And eventually it caught on, and it's starting to understand, oh, okay, Sheryl is now a redwoods and Italy photographer. So that's why I'm trying to teach it. So
Okay.
it's important to be friends with the algorithm and and kind of be consistent with the information you're providing and the location that you want to focus in on.
How long do you narrow your focus like that before you feel comfortable targeting another location?
So I've focused on redwoods for a long time, and I was kind of getting getting frustrated that I was getting so many inquiries from redwoods. So I have played with Positano for 2 months now, and I've only created 10 TikToks, and now I'm getting inquiries for Positano. So I mean, 2 months.
Okay, I love that.
And
Jen, what was
yeah,
your other question?
Oh, is there anything, and you mentioned like putting captions on, and using the prompter. Is there anything like editing wise, like, like people will do like little jump cuts and things like that to like trigger like, oh, I'm watching a new video or whatever. Is there anything like that that you regularly rely on?
yeah. So in the beginning, I just kind of talk to the teleprompter, and then I would make sure to cut out any type of awkward pauses or ums between my videos. But now, in order to keep my branding, because I think when you go to my TikTok, you'll be like, oh, that's Sheryl. So one, to keep my branding, and two, to kind of keep the people's attention, I do put like weird, how do you call it, weird sounds and transitions between certain videos, but I don't do it frequently. If you notice, I only do it in the beginning and I only do it at the end, just to make sure that I'm keeping their attention. But you don't need to do it that often.
Okay.
And
is
if and if the
okay.
information is important, they'll stick around regardless of any type of show that you put on your TikTok. I get bored sometimes, so I want to put those cute little sounds and
No, I think that makes sense. And like you said, the putting at the beginning can kind of make it more like a little interesting at first. Then it's like, oh, I want to stay for this. Do you do that all in CapCut?
yeah, everything is in CapCut, and I also break that down in the course as well. So it, yeah, I call that like the advanced section. Once you've gotten the teleprompter and green screen down, then it goes into the fun stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Jen is like the queen of talking head videos. She has her sexy little microphone and she will batch like 50 in a day. So I'm so excited to see her implement this. Jenica, can you unmute and ask Cheryl your question?
Hello.
Hi.
Um, so I'm like a total TikTok virgin here. I've never even opened it. I'm scared of it.
Yeah.
So this is all like I'm loving all of the stuff I'm like learning about it, but I guess it's just how to step into that. I guess one of the things that kept me from going into it is one, I'm already terrible at Instagram, and two, I just assumed it's just for really, it sounds so dumb, but I just was like, oh, only like little kids use it or like Gen Z. Like, are all of your couples inquiring with you super young, or like do you find that there's a all sorts of people are using it and I just need to, it's just like a myth I made up? Um, and like what would you say is like your average length of video? Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a good question. Okay, so to answer one of them, a lot of my couples are between the age of 25 to 35. I kind of want to target that age group on purpose because I feel like one, they're established, hopefully they have a good paying job, and they're just taking it more seriously. I feel like anytime they're younger than that, the mother of the bride or of the groom hops on my call and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're still a child. So that's something to keep in mind. The second question is, you said something about Gen Z being on TikTok, and that is so important because that is the next generation that is getting married, and that is where they're all hanging out, and that is why I am steering everyone towards TikTok, because that is where they're hanging out. Instagram is still cool kind of for them, but not really. Like they are just so unserious. They just want to have fun and they want to learn, and they go to TikTok for that.
I want to hear the rest of your answers too, but something to keep in mind is that like I'm a cusper and I'm old as hell. Like I could be Gen Z or millennial. And so like I think we think of Gen Z as being teenagers when really they're like young adults and like going into their 30s and like ready to get married right now.
I just feel super old.
Totally. Yeah.
I just feel like they're gonna judge me for being, you know, not not in my 20s or 30s.
No, they're not. They're seriously, if you are, if you present yourself as a expert on adventure elopements in one specific location and they really want to elope in that location, they will not care. And honestly, I'm glad you brought it up because the couples that have hopped on Zoom calls with me, I've gotten a few reactions. One is like, oh my gosh, you're actually real. Or two, like, I'm so excited to meet you. Like, I feel like I already know you because I understand your voice. I know your face. I've watched all of your videos. So it's important to show up as yourself, and they'll learn to trust you and fall in love with you. And that's, again, it's super important because you are spending all day with them on their elopement day. So if they don't click with you in your videos, then they're probably going to be like, oh, well, we're probably not going to click on my elopement day.
Yeah. And Jenica, I'm saying this specifically to you, but obviously it applies to everybody. You're cool as hell. Like we have to stop with the assumptions about what people want to see on social media, and just start being ourselves. Because, like, if you showed up as Jenica, dry humor, like, you're so quietly funny, like, you'll say something so deadpan that just cracks me up. And if you can just, like, speak to your art and your experience with one of your photos behind you, you are going to get inquiries.
Yeah,
Okay,
everyone,
I'm
I
here
don't
for the
want you guys to
challenge.
think that you have to be loud or outgoing. A good example is Dawn Photo. She's very like quiet and reserved, but some couples really like that calming presence, whereas like some people like me as their hype woman. So just show up as yourself and people will love you.
Yeah, I literally openly hate weddings and I book out every year, so I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Cheryl, how long are your videos? That's one we missed from
Oh,
Jenica.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, my videos are not that long. I would say they're less than 3 minutes, but if you go above 60 seconds, TikTok favors that more. So just
Oh,
talk. I know all of
Mhm.
you guys can talk on one topic about elopements for more than a minute because we love what we do. So it should be super easy.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you so much.
You're
you
welcome.
can do it.
You got this.
Shay, I
Uh,
have a question.
I'm in. Let's hear it.
All right. This is for you, Cheryl and
Okay.
Shay. So when we're doing our Super 8 films or our videos, how do you recommend sharing them? The full video? Because my Super 8s are, of course, horizontal. Should I stretch them to fit the whole screen or show just the video itself? Like I always wonder about that on Instagram too. And do they want to see the minute and a half, or should I just, cut it short and do like a 15-second teaser or a 30-second or a minute? Like, do you know enough about the algorithm to figure out like what people are more into?
So I've only posted, I think, one video that I've created from an elopement day. And I wouldn't say it got that many views, but honestly, that was for a random location that my algorithm didn't like anyways. So if you're constantly doing a video in the Tetons and you spit out another Teton video, the algorithm's going to favor that. I think I posted it for Zion, and you guys know that I focus on Italy and redwoods. So you can imagine that TikTok was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it didn't get that many views, but I kind of, if you notice, I don't really care about views. I care about information and making sure that my couples are aware of, hey, this is a service I provide, because eventually they're going to go to your TikTok anyways. So don't think about views. Just think about like if a person hops on my TikTok and they start scrolling through my work, do they understand that I provide Super 8? Can I show them an example? Do they want to see my photos? So even though those don't get a lot of views, I don't really care because I just want to make sure that they know that I provide that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Gotcha.
then Corey, as far as your question, in this program, what I recommend as part of your editing system is clipping out everything you can into individual vertical clips at the end of editing every project, and then putting those in a folder that are easily accessible to you when you're batching your social media content.
Cool.
Um, Yes, because in the marketing system, what I teach is educational, which tends to be what Cheryl's posting on TikTok. I mostly recommend green screen, so your head talking over your content, which can be those clips you clipped out or photos. But then we also have trendy, which is just following a trend that's going on the social media platform. And we have aesthetic, which is what photographers tend to like, which can be more of like your Instagram stuff that you repurpose for TikTok, but might not do as well on TikTok.
Cool. Yeah, that's helpful. So making it vertical content versus horizontal, just
Yeah.
stretching to fill the
I,
screen.
Yes, I do post full videos on Instagram, but that is not for virality. Like those will not get pushed. And then I repurpose those videos into vertical content.
Okay. What about taking a horizontal and tilting the axis so it fits, in that I'm just curious. I've tried different things.
I do it sometimes. I say
Yeah.
just test and see what hits. Like you could post
Okay.
the same video 3 times, trying it vertical or cropped or rotated, and just see if one does better.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I could do like A/B testing. Yeah.
Totally. ABC testing in this case.
ABC. Yeah.
And
Sweet.
Corey, you could also use a video as a green screen as well. So that might be super cool if you put your Super 8 video in the background and talk about one, their elopement day, or two, that you just provide Super 8. They might actually really love that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can figure that out. I think I've tried to put video behind me versus a photo, and it wouldn't work in the TikTok app. I might need, CapCut for something like that. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. I think it's a different effect in TikTok. Like the
Yes.
icon either has a photo behind it or a video behind it.
Oh, right. Yeah. It's, you cut out yourself and then there's background and then you choose background and it typically only allows you to pick photos.
Yeah, so that's like a green screen effect, and the icon has a photo behind it. There's another green screen effect you could pick with a video icon behind it.
Oh, cool. I'll look
Yeah,
for it.
you've got this.
Oh, thanks.
Corey, I know you had some more questions for Sheryl. Is there anything you still have that wasn't answered by talking to other people?
Not off the top of my head. Yeah, thank you.
Gorgeous. Well,
Yeah.
Sheryl, I just want to give everyone here the encouragement that you can literally do this. Please, please, please go stalk Sheryl and photography on TikTok and just see how much she is serving her clients with her green screen videos and how, like, even stalk in the comments how she's filtering them into inquiries. And Sheryl, I would love to take 2 minutes for you to tell everybody how they can join your course about TikTok. And I feel like you have a special surprise code for them as well.
Yeah, I do. I'll send over the link in the chat if you guys would like to join the course. And then you guys could use code EPIC15 for $15 off. And what was the other question? I'm so sorry, Shayna.
Yeah, just talk to us about what's in the course, what they can expect.
Yeah, so in the course, you guys have 5 high impact lessons. And it's basically you guys can go at your own pace. And I've had people finish it in 2 days. I've had people finish it in 1 day. So it's really how much time you want to dedicate to it. And inside the course, you guys get worksheets that kind of help you guide you and make sure that you create a calm content system for yourself. And I think that's it.
Amazing. So Cheryl's going to stick that link in the chat. If you're listening to this on the Hybrid Hangout podcast, the link to Cheryl's course will be in the description of this episode. And please, please, please go follow Sheryl Ann on Instagram. What's that handle?
Oh, you can follow me at Sheryl Ann Photo or at Epic Photo Podcast.
Perfect. And I'm on the Epic Photo podcast. So if you want to go listen to me yammer on about my life and business, you can go do that at the Epic Photo podcast. We had a blast. We're in love, and watch it on YouTube because Sheryl is gorgeous. Anything else? Did we miss anything? Does anyone need anything? You all seem happy. Great questions today, everybody. Please feel free to DM either of us on Instagram with anything else. But I highly recommend this course. I'm going to buy it right after this.
Thank you so much, Shayna.
Thank you. Do you want to be in a video telling everyone how cool we are? Everyone be happy. Yay. We love Sheryl. She's hot, beautiful, smart, gorgeous. Okay, cool. That's what I have today. Anyone with anything else? Sick. Sheryl, thank you so much. We really, really enjoyed this.
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. It was nice meeting all of you guys.
Awesome. You crushed that. Have a great day.